Okay, so here's the big question. How do you know? Someone asked me this yesterday. How do you know? How do you know there's no me? How do you know there's just this? How do you know? And yeah, it's a good question. And this is the me's question. This is the big question. Because me, as me, the one who's in this position of being me, I'm adrift in this world, just wandering by myself up against this whole experience. And all I have, my one tool, my one arm, is what I know. That's what's going to get me down the road, and that's what's going to get me to where I need to go. So it's all about what I know, and it's all about how I can know what I know. I know it for sure. I mean, not make a mistake. All right? So it's all about how do you know? And something like this, where the guy's really just saying, look, here's the way it is. And it's not, I mean, part of the message, right, is that this isn't logical, can't even be understood, and it can't be known. But then the question is, well, how do you know? How do you know it can't be known? How do you know that this is anything? You know. And of course, we're saying that it isn't anything. It's just dogs barking. It's just a bunch of nothing. But I'm also saying that it, you know, yeah, it's the thing. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking. But it's not anything to know. It is a kind of a communication, of course. And we say it can't be known, it can't be understood. It can be resonated, right? There's resonance, whatever that means. So it can be seen. Let's say, it can be. Yeah, it's like I'm saying, well, I'm seeing this. Do you see it? Yeah, you can see it too. We can see it together. We can both see it. It can be seen, and it's worth talking about, worth pointing to. It's this shining thing, and really, that's what it is. I mean, it's just this shining thing. We can't say what it is, and we can't explain it, and we can't prove it, and we can't dissect it. So how do I know? And how do you know? If I know, doesn't really matter. The point is, how do you know, and how do you know that any of this is anything for you? Because even if I know it, maybe I know it for me, and what does that have to do with you necessarily? I mean, what only matters is this true for you? True in the sense of relevant and freeing. That's what really matters. Is this going to make me free? And in a way, that's the claim. I mean, just putting it that way, because of course there's nothing that's going to make you free. This message doesn't make anybody free. But the communication is that there is just freedom here, that you are free. So again, the question, how do I know? How do I know that I'm free? How do I know that this this condition of being me isn't true? All the things that are this me experience are carrying with it all of the, well, basically all of my knowledge, everything I know, isn't true. That's what I'm saying here. Your knowledge isn't true. So then the question again, how do I know that? You see, it always goes back to, what do I know? And this communication is only about the knowledge, your knowledge, the knowledge of the me. The me is me. I am my knowledge. I'm what I know. And the communication is that isn't anything. It's not true. There isn't any knowledge. The knowledge isn't. And again, so the knower is going to say, well, how do you know that? And of course, well, I don't know it. I don't know it because it's only obvious. It's obvious in the same way that, it's what a baby knows before they collect their knowledge. This knowledge, knowledge, this knowing of nothing, this unknowing, the knowing that knowledge isn't anything, that it's not what it seems to be real, and it's not. So that anyway, it's an unknowing of all this knowledge. So it's returning, in a sense, to unknowing. Okay, so I say, how do you know? How do you know that this knowledge is not real? How do you know that everything is unknown? Well, again, how does the baby know? How do, all the animals know this? Everything in the world knows this, right? I say that. Knows this is a weird way to say it. Confusing too. So, but really, it's only the me, this human person who's in this position of being surrounded, wrapped up with my knowledge and walking around, actually as a knowledge machine, or wearing a knowledge suit. That's and really feeling that I am that costume and that machine. Being totally convinced that I am this thing that is built up by my knowledge. That I'm in there somewhere, walking around. Meeting people all the time. What's that thing? There's a poem that Kenneth Madden always quotes, and it's Yeats, I guess. Something about the face I put on to meet the faces that I meet, or something like that. It's all these, the costume that meets the costume, the mask that meets the mask. But this mask is is my knowledge of who I am and of what everything is, you know. It's a big show. But somehow I think it's me, and I think that there's a me in here somewhere. If I can just get to it, get to the real stuff, you know, and that's, you know, and I'm trying to do all the time. But no, it doesn't take knowledge to see that that isn't real. And it's only obvious. It can only be obvious. It can't be learned. It can be seen, I guess. That every story is a production. And it's built by a process of knowing. And then anything that's built isn't it? Because what's here is just here without being built. You know what I mean? The thing has to be built for it to be what it is. But what's just here, what everything is just already what it is before, whether it's built or not. I mean, it's the unbuilt thing. That's what this whole message is about. There's nothing needed. The me always needs. There's all kinds of needs, criteria that I have to apply and know and use. So it's such a big job. And there's so much learning and knowing and understanding involved and getting it right. But all this communication is about is just pointing out, it's just here. It's just what it is. No water added, needed, right? No, nothing needed. There's, you know, it's just what it is, as it is, already. Nothing needs to be done to it, right? Anything that's added to it just confuses the issue, makes it impossible to, you know, gets everything off the point because it's just here already. And so the question is, how do I know that? How do I know that it's just here? Right? Yeah, I can't. There's no knowing it. But it's obvious. So this whole process of knowing wasn't needed. It's not even relevant. That's what's hard to catch. Again, because me, it's all about knowing. If I don't know, I've got nothing, empty arms. Nothing to use, nothing to do anything with. And that's what this is. This is nothing. And that can only just be noticed. It can be seen. It can be clear. It can be obvious. It's too simple. So that's it.